next video that we're now going to be covering is section unit 3E, and it's going to be subtracting integers. Right now, you know how to subtract if you have 20 minus 3, where you're a larger number and you're subtracting a smaller number. But what we're going to focus on in this video, now that we've talked about negative numbers, is how to subtract larger integers from smaller integers. So instead of this being 20 minus 3, we will then rewrite it as, well, what is 3 minus 20? What does that equal? All right. In this video, we're only going to cover one specific way, and that's using the number line. But that's not a very convenient way to use, because if we have really spaced out numbers or really large numbers, that's not how we want to do this. But for now, we're only going to cover the number line, and then we're going to talk about maybe if we see a pattern that's forming when we're doing the subtraction and what we can do as a quicker, shorter algorithm. All right, just real quick, just remember, in our number line, as we move to our left, we are decreasing in value. And as we move to our right, we are increasing in value. All right, so this is something that as we're subtracting our numbers today, we're going to be using this thing that we've discussed, moving along our number line to help us figure out which way we need to move when we're subtracting. All right, so I am just going to do a couple questions first on what you guys do know. So 14 minus 8, by now I do expect that you guys don't need a number line to do this. You can subtract these, and I know you can because we've done them in class. You can just subtract these in your head. But remember, if we're doing 14 minus 8, what we can do is we can draw this number line and say, well, we're starting at 14, and we just need to remove 8 from it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means that we end it at this number 6. So 14 minus 8 is 6. Once again, I wouldn't expect you to use a number line for these, and you should know how to do these in your head. All right, and then the next one, 20 minus 17, well, I would expect that you know that that is 3 as well. But to show you on a number line, we're starting at 20, and we're subtracting 17. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We end at this number here, which is 1, 2, and 3. So to show you, we can use the number line. But as you saw for this example, if we're doing 17 units on our number line, it can be tedious. I wouldn't expect you to do that if we have a larger number. But what we are going to do is we are going to do some examples now on our number line with these, where the larger number is what we're subtracting, and to see if we can figure out another way that we can do this without having to do the number line. All right, so now we're going to move on to two other examples right now that are very similar to what we just did. All right, so this 8 minus 14 should look awfully similar to something that we just did. All right, but now you may not know what this is equal to. But let's go ahead and use this number line. All right, so we're starting at 8, and we're removing 14 from 8. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So after we remove 14 from 8, we are left with negative 6. Think about another example. Look at your notes. What does that look awfully close to? We're going to talk about this in just one second. All right, but 8 minus 14 gives us negative 6. And I do expect that you guys are able to use this number line to go ahead and solve this problem. All right, because all we're doing at this point, we know that as we move to the left, we are decreasing. And once we get past that 0, to the left of the 0, we are on negative numbers. So I do expect that you guys could create this number line and just simply move the amount of units that you need to. Because we know that if we're subtracting 14, that this means we need to move 14 units to the left. All right, let's do our next example. All right, now we're going to do 17 minus 20. Once again, this should look awfully similar to one of the examples that we already did. And check your notes and see, what does this look like? All right, now let's go ahead and solve this. So we are now at 17, and we're going to subtract 20. All right, you guys don't have to count by ones, because 20 we can break down and count by twos. We can count by tens, fives. But I'm going to still count by ones, but you could count by different units. We could skip 10 at a time if you knew how to do that. All right, but we're going to just count by ones. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's where our first one would be if we're counting my tens. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Then 1, 2, 3. So there is our final point. So 17 minus 20 is equal to -3. Once again, awfully similar to something that we just did. Right? Very close to one of the examples we just did. And just to show you some ways that you could do this, instead of counting by ones, because 20 is a lot, we could count by tens, and subtracting 17 minus 10 we know is going to give us 7. And then we could subtract 7 here. Well, that means that if we subtracted 10 and 7, how many more do we have left? Well, we would have 3 more left. 1, 2, 3. And 7 plus 3 plus 10 gives me 20. There's different ways that you can skip along this number line. Do whichever one you feel most comfortable with. But on the video, I'm still just always going to count by ones. All right, so we did these 4 examples so far. We did 14 minus 8 is equal to 6. We did 20 minus 17 is equal to 3. 8 minus 14 is equal to -6. And 17 minus 20 is equal to -3. All right, I'm going to move this one right underneath the one that is very similar to, and I'm going to move this one right underneath to the other one. Look at these 2 examples that we did here. Can you figure out a pattern with them? Can you figure out maybe another method that we can use rather than the number line, and something that you all already know how to do? Is there something that we can do to manipulate these problems, to make it easier for us? Think about that, write it down, and see if you can come up with that answer. Right? Because we're going to talk about this as a class to then figure out, well, what is maybe a shortcut that we can do? And even if you don't understand a shortcut, you can always use the number line. All right, we have 2 more examples that we're going to go through, and then this video is finished. What I want you to do is, if you think you figured out that little shortcut that I'm talking about, I want you to first pause the video, try it using a shortcut, and then check your work with actually counting on the number line and see if it works. And then we're going to talk about this as a class, and hopefully we can come up with this together. All right, so now this next example is 6 minus 12. Remember, first try your shortcut, but we can always revert back to this negative, or to this number line. I'm going to put the point at 6, and I'm removing 12 from this. And remember, as we move to the left, we are decreasing. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this unit, this point, 6 units to the 12 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's my new point. So 6 minus 12 is equal to -6. Did you try with the other method if you figured it out? Did it match up? All right, remember, you don't have to count by ones. You can count, and especially in this case, we can count by 2s. It's whatever is easiest for you. All right, but once again, let's try the next question, the last one, using that other method if you figured it out, and then go to your number line and see, does it actually work? All right, sometimes when I'm doing this, my computer screen starts to mess up, or the OneNote, and it doesn't register what I'm writing. So if this video is working, we'll continue it to the end. If not, then we would have finished. You wouldn't hear this anyway. But anyway, let's just go ahead and do this last example. 3 minus 8. Well, I'm going to put a point here at 3. We are subtracting 8. And hopefully, if you guys see any of this writing up here, hopefully you can just ignore it for now. But let's go ahead and do this problem. So 3 minus 8. So I'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here is going to be my answer. It's the number between -6 and -4. So that's -5. So 3 minus 8 is equal to -5. All right, once again, hopefully you tried it. If you figured out that other method, you tried that first, and then checked your answer with your number line. Remember, you can always solve these with using your number line. All right, that is it for this video.